10 plyometric exercises for you today to improve your explosive speed. And the best thing about these exercises, you don't need any equipment or much room whatsoever, so you can do these at home, at an open pitch, wherever you like, and you can still improve your running speed, your change of direction, your jumping power, all of those movements in a match that require explosive power. So we've got 10 in total. Let's get into the first exercise. Exercise 1 is jump squats. So we're taking a normal squat, which is used to build the hamstrings and the quads, and we're adding an explosive element by jumping up into the air. And as you can see, I'm cushioning my landing by bending the knees, and I'm putting my hands on my shoulders just to take away the momentum of my arms, which you would usually use when jumping. Taking away this momentum puts even more stress on the legs, so you're building even more explosiveness, and also forces you to engage the core. Exercise 2 is jump lunges. So this is when we bend both legs 90 degrees, one in front of the other, and then we explode up into the air by straightening both of our legs, and then we land with our opposite foot in front. And as you can see, cushioning my landing once again by bending the knee as I make impact with the ground. And this time I'm using both of my arms for balance, and they're bent 90 degrees as well. And as my right arm comes forward, my left leg comes forward, and vice versa. Exercise 3 is lateral bounds. So this time we're working one leg at a time, bounding from side to side. So all our weight is going on a single leg. So really having to engage those hamstrings, quads and calves. And then our core has to be engaged as well to balance. And we're using those arms as well. So this exercise is really going to improve your change of direction, making you more explosive off the mark because you're loading one leg. So when you change directions, all the weight goes on one side. So we're replicating that in this exercise. So if you do this often, you're going to see yourself change your direction a lot quicker. Number 4 is A-skip. So we're on our toes bouncing, and then we're driving one knee up at a time. And as we drive one knee up, the opposite arm drives out in front as well. A-skip. So we're on our toes bouncing, and then we're driving one knee up at a time. And as we drive one knee up, the opposite arm drives out in front as well. Exercise 5 is reverse lunge knee drive. So we're performing a reverse lunge, so our foot goes behind us, bending both knees 90 degrees, and then as we push up, we also drive our knee of our opposite leg into the air as well. So we're working all of those leg muscles, but also the hip flexors as well. And as you can see, driving the opposite arm with the opposite knee as I'm driving upwards. This is a really tiring one. I like to do 5 on each side and then 3 sets all together. Exercise 6 is tuck jumps. This time we're using our arms as momentum, and then we're lifting both hip flexors. So really getting a lot of hip flexor work here, and we're bringing both knees up 90 degrees parallel with our hips. So nice jumps, and as you can see, I crouch forward, so having to engage that core as well. A great exercise for building jumping power and overall explosiveness. Exercise 7 is high knees. So this is a great exercise for working on not only developing your running technique, but it will increase your running speed if you do this consistently, because you're forcing yourself to synchronize those arm and knee movements. So as you can see, as my left arm drives, my right knee drives, and vice versa. And if you work on this, it's going to make your running technique a lot more efficient, a lot more explosive, and overall increase your running speed. Exercise 8 is heel flicks. So we're bringing up those heels behind us towards ourselves, which really isolates the hamstring muscles. To perform that leg flexion, you're really engaging the fast twitch fibers in your hamstrings, which are going to make you overall more explosive when you're running. And once again, remaining on those toes, getting in a rhythm, and trying to coordinate those arm movements with our leg flexion as well. Exercise 9 is kneeling jumps. So we're starting in a kneeling position, then swinging our arms through and using that momentum to jump up off of our knees and land onto our feet. Really forcing you to engage those hip flexors. They have to be really explosive to be able to swing those legs up, and engaging that core as much as possible. The combination of your hip flexors and your core should be enough to give you that momentum and power to jump back onto your feet. Really good movement for developing your explosive capabilities. Might take a little bit of practice to get this one, but when you do, you're going to see a huge translation into your performance. Number 10 is calf jumps. So this looks a little bit similar to the jump squats we performed in exercise number 1, but as you can see, we're not bending the knees anywhere near as much. So we're really trying to load the lower legs instead of the quadriceps and the hamstrings. So really working those calf muscles, trying to be explosive, pointing those toes as I jump up in the air. We're using a slight bend just to absorb the impact and give you a little bit of momentum, but all the load is really going on those calf muscles. So if we can make those more explosive, it's going to improve your running speed, but also your jumping capabilities as well. So there we go, guys. Those are the 10 exercises that you can complete anywhere just using your own body weight, but you're going to dramatically increase your running speed, change the direction, jumping power, all of those movements that require maximum force in a short space of time. And if you want to do a full workout, try each of these exercises for 10 reps all the way through 1 through 10, and then complete them 3 times. So you're working on configuring your feet, learning how to actually get coordination between your arm movements and your foot movements. So this kind of work actually forces you to drive your arms and make sure you're timing it well with your footwork. If you don't have a ladder, I've just put out these cones just to show you that you can use them just like this and you can still get the same benefits. You can make your own speed ladder with a set of cones, or if you don't even have cones, you don't need any equipment whatsoever. You can just do the footwork patterns in place, moving forward and backwards with it, just kind of replicating, imagining there was a ladder there. So you can do all of these exercises. You don't need any of the equipment, you don't need a lot of room, you can do it at home, at the pitch. Let's get into it. The first exercise is really simple. If you've ever done a speed or agility ladder in your life, you've most certainly done this exercise before. So it's just 2 foot in each square, moving nice and quickly through the ladder and then driving those arms in coordination with your feet movements. So as your right foot moves, your left arm should be driving and vice versa. Staying on your toes throughout the entire movement, heels don't touch the ground, nice and sharp through the ladder. Number 2 is very similar, 2 foot in each square, but this time we're moving laterally. So we're going sideways through the ladder, again driving those arms in coordination with the feet, so that when the right knee comes up, the left arm should be driving and vice versa. Again, staying on your toes throughout the entire movement. Your heels should not touch the ground. We really want to be light on our feet and explosive, and the way we do that is by staying on our toes. Next up is the Icky Shuffle. This one takes a little bit more coordination now. Again, we're putting 2 foot in each square of the ladder, but we're moving diagonally through. So we're actually moving in and out of the ladder, so we're coming to the outside. And as you can see, 1 foot places down either side. So the right foot places down to the right side, then both feet come through the ladder, and then they move through to the other side as well. And you'll notice with my arm movements, as I'm moving to the right hand side, my left arm is driving, and I'm moving to the left hand side, my right arm is driving. Number 4 is the backwards Icky Shuffle. Exactly the same movement as the Icky Shuffle, but this time we're doing it in reverse. So adding another challenge to it, and this one's especially good for you defenders out there who are having to backpedal a lot if you've got an attacker dribbling straight at you and you need to jockey them. This allows you to stay light on your feet and have good coordination over your foot placement so you don't get tangled up and you're not tripping over your own feet. So make sure you're looking back with this one. It's going to take a little bit of practice, but you will get it eventually. Just again, moving through those ladders nice and quickly on your toes. Number 5 is the in and out. It's a very simple one, nice and easy, and all we're doing is placing 2 feet inside each square of the ladder, and then we're spreading those feet apart as quickly as we possibly can, going outside of that ladder. So we're going in and out of each square. So nice and light on our toes as always, and what we're doing is we're going to drive those hips in and out. We're going to feel it in the abductors and the adductors. It's a really good workout for those hips. They're going to become nice and explosive, nice and strong. Light on the feet, as explosive as you can through the ladder. Number 9 is the foot exchange. So we're moving laterally through that ladder once again, placing both feet in each grid of the ladder, but this time we're alternating feet. So as one foot is inside the square, the opposite foot is behind, and we're trying to exchange those feet as explosively and quickly as possible. So you really have to drive those arms powerfully, and you're driving from the hips this time. Instead of a quick movement with the feet, you're actually driving the leg forwards and backwards, staying light on the toes.
Exercises you can do individually to improve your aerial ball control.
For the first exercise, we're using the inside of our right foot only. We're going to take one low touch below head height, then the next touch is above head height. Then we're going to continue this pattern. The key with this one is to hit right underneath the ball through the middle, right in the center of the middle of your foot. For the second exercise, we're using the inside of our foot again, but this time we're using our left foot only. Again, we really want to use the inside of the foot right in the middle, so making sure the outside of our ankle is pointing directly at the ground and the middle of the inside of our foot is pointing towards the sky. For the third exercise, we're using the inside of both feet this time. So we're taking one low touch and then the next touch is above head height, and then on that high touch we alternate feet. Then we repeat on the opposite side. For the fourth exercise, we're using our thigh to perform the same pattern. So one low touch, head height or below, then the next touch is above head height. Then we're going to continue this pattern using the right thigh only. For the fifth exercise, we're using our left thigh only. So we're bending our knee 90 degrees, making sure our thigh is perpendicular to our body so that we can get right underneath the center of that ball and pop it directly up into the air. For exercise 6, we're using both thighs. So we perform one low touch below head height, then on that second touch above head height, we swap thighs and repeat on the opposite side. For exercise 7, we're performing a low to high to cushion touch. So we drop the ball out of our hands, kick it above head height. Our next touch is below head height, so keeping it under control. Then we kick it back up in the air above head height, and then we cushion the ball to get it on the ground. For this one, we're going to alternate feet for each repetition. Exercise 8 is high kicks using your right foot only. So using your laces, you're making contact right underneath the ball through the middle, and you're having to stay light on your feet, focusing on the area of the ball you're going to make contact with. So this really challenges your focus and coordination. Exercise 9 is high kicks using your left foot only. So kicking right underneath the middle of the ball, keeping it above head height with every touch, making sure our laces are flat against the middle of the ball. And the 10th exercise is alternating high kicks. So it's the same pattern, keeping the ball above head height with every touch, this time alternating feet with each repetition, making sure we're focusing on the middle of the ball at all times.
can use water bottles, you can use rolled up socks, anything you have just to mark out these courses. So drill number 1 is very simple. We're just going to place a cone down and 2 steps away from it, 1, 2, we're going to place another cone. And all we're going to do, this is a great way to get warmed up, work on that close ball control. We're going to weave in and out in a figure of 8 pattern using the inside and outside of our right foot. So lots of little touches, getting around the corners, trying to keep it as close as possible. As you can see, I'm taking a touch of the ball with every single step, just working on that close ball control. I've got a slight bend in my knees for a low center of gravity, and then you can keep your head up as well as you get more confident with it. So you can do that for 30 seconds. Then you can repeat it with your left foot. Then you can go into a round of inside of the feet only. And then you can also do a round of inside and outside of both feet. So you're getting a lot of touches in here, working on that close ball control,